Let me give you the Cliff Notes. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Recovery Classroom. My name is Drew. I am a recovering alcoholic. I'm still sober, and I'm still enjoying each and every single day. I've never met somebody who's ever regretted getting clean and sober. If you and your friends are local to the Huntington, West Virginia area, and you're looking for an actual recovery meeting, one where you can walk in, sit down, and have a back and forth dialogue and exchange of ideas, I encourage you to come on down to 5747 East Pea Ridge Road in Huntington, Pea Ridge United Methodist Church for our Friday night crosstalk meeting. This Friday night and every Friday night at 7 o'clock. It's not like a traditional meeting. It's nothing like a traditional meeting. You know, the meetings where you walk in, you sit down, and they have to read to you because apparently you can't open the book yourself, or they have to go around the room one by one, and for 3.5 minutes, everybody's got to lecture you about how you're doing shit wrong and how you're going to go back out, relapse, and die unless you do it exactly as they tell you to do it. That's not what we're about. It's an actual recovery meeting where you can sit down and make some new friends and have that back and forth conversation about recovery. So I encourage you to come on down this Friday night at 7 o'clock. We'll see you there. Yesterday, I was in a conversation yesterday, and I was asked to basically summarize some key findings, basically try to give somebody the Cliff Notes version of my recovery. And I was thinking about it, what were some key points that were surprising to me that I think I should communicate to somebody. Say if I happened to run into them in an elevator and they were struggling and I had 30 seconds with them, what would I say? What would I say? And I was thinking about it, and I even talked to Joey about it this morning while we were running. One of the biggest things I think is critically important for a newcomer, especially for a newcomer, is being able to admit that everything you thought you knew in life, you could have been wrong about. After all, our thinking, at least my thinking for the first 46 years of my life, is what kind of helped lead me to become an alcoholic, right? So obviously, something must have gone wrong over that 46 years of thinking, right? Something must have went haywire. A great example, not to go off on this topic, some of my friends are going, yep, we're out. We know where this is going. I used to think I knew a lot about nutrition science. I used to believe that 45 to 60% of my daily caloric intake needed to come from whole grains and carbohydrates. I was dead ass wrong. And I was very shocked whenever I looking back, I was very shocked at how willing I was to consider new ideas, to consider that everything I thought I knew was wrong. Again, looking back, hindsight, I was really shocked at how willing I was to entertain new concepts and new ideas. I used to think that I could manage my drinking. I used to think it wasn't really a drinking problem, it was a management problem, it was a discipline problem. I used to think I had it under control, that I could drink when no one would ever know. I was dead ass wrong. I used to think God hated me. And he was just torturing me by leaving me on this planet. I was dead ass wrong. Man, I'm thankful I was dead ass wrong. At the end of the day, that was, for me, that's probably one of the most significant pieces of information I could give to that newcomer. Should we happen to run into each other in the elevator or at the grocery store and have 30 seconds. The second thing, and Joey and I talked about this a lot this morning, the second thing is if I need to change my thinking, everything I thought I knew was wrong, so I needed to change my thinking. If I needed to change my thinking, I probably need to start hanging out with people who are thinking the way that I want to start thinking. In other words, if my problem is alcohol, your problem might be drugs, and I want to get sober, do you want to get clean? We probably need to start hanging out with people who have either done what we're wanting to do or are in the process of doing what it is we're wanting to do. Joey and I, we're at the gym every morning, 5 a.m. We're running, we're just hanging out, just bullshitting, running, sucking air, realizing how old we are. That's what our Friday night crosstalk meeting is about. It's just people getting together, talking about the shit that's going on in our last week, in our lives, but we all have the same goal. I want to start thinking like those guys, and that's why I hang out with them. So I think for me, those are the two biggest Cliff Notes that I could give to that newcomer is, one, be willing to admit that everything you think you already know in life, you could be wrong. And then two, make sure that you start hanging out with the type of people who are thinking the way that you want to start thinking in your newfound sobriety and you're on your road to recovery. Those two things to me, I think, are, like I said, the best clip notes that I could give to somebody really quick anyway. Should have happened running to them at the grocery store or wherever. So with that being said, I'm out of time. Thank you guys for letting me come in and share 5 to 10 minutes of your day with you. You guys absolutely keep me sober, and I could not be any more appreciative. We'll be talking again soon, guys. Remember, you can't get drunk if you don't take that first drink.